Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 30th July. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 10. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, NIA unearths new Kashmir terror funding channels. So National Investigation Agency, as we are looking since last few days, that they are investigating into various cases where they have seen that there are cases of terror funding in Jammu and Kashmir. So they have targeted two aspects here which are being spoken of. One is trade cross line of control, means between POK and Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir of India, and also part of Jammu and Kashmir which is with India. So this cross LOC trade which is illegally being used for terror funding, one aspect, and second aspect is Hajj subsidy which is provided. So this Hajj subsidy which is being provided is also being misused, it says, for terror related activities. So these funds are diverted to that. So this is what has been put forth by NIA and it is investigating into this. It has asked for cross LOC trade to be ended. It says that cross LOC trade, which actually takes place through barter system. So this LOC trade is allowed for 21 items, presently, like garments, handicrafts, carpets and elements, and this was started as such since 2008 to bring as a confidence building measure between the population to bring in peace and stability in this region, and the NIA is recommending to the Home Minister that trade across LOC be stopped. Whereas at the same time, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti is highlighting that this exchange should not be stopped and there should be more trade routes which should be added. So this is the detail here regarding cross LOC trade. And regarding Hajj subsidy also, what it says is that Hajj subsidy is actually provided for subsidized air ticket. So some of the travel agents who send Indians on Hajj pilgrimage in Jammu and Kashmir, they are hand in gloves with associates of separatists based in Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. So here the diversion takes place for terror and separatist activities is also highlighted by NIA. So this is regarding Hajj subsidy too. Actually in May 2012, Supreme Court had ordered the government to end this in a decade. So by 2022, on Supreme Court's order, Hajj subsidy should end, and this subsidized money, it's subsidy money which is being provided, it says should be profitably used to uplift the community, the minority community, in education and other indices of social development. It says that this Hajj subsidy, and this viewpoint has been highlighted by various Muslims, scholars and MPs, MLAs too earlier, that this is against Islam, that Hajj subsidy is un-Islamic, because the Quran specifically states, and the Supreme Court in its order also stated, that Quran states that Hajj pilgrimage is mandatory only for those who can afford the expenses for traveling, food and accommodation. So this aspect is also there. So now Hajj subsidy by 2022 would end. Then next is rare birds return to safer, better managed Seshachalam. So Seshachalam forests in Eastern Ghats, which have been declared as biosphere reserves in 2012 too. This lies in Andhra Pradesh. Also the Tirupati temple, the prominent temple, is also located in this region only. It has these 7 peaks here. So this Seshachalam forest here, the birds which earlier had left this region are now coming back. So black hooded oriole is one of the birds which is specifically mentioned. So there was increase of poaching etc. to smuggling taking place of red sanders here, because of which disturbances in this region and also people who consumed these birds, captured and consumed them, had resulted in bird population going low. But now with stringent enforcement of development in the forest authorities in this region, and also the conducive weather conditions now has resulted in birds coming back here. So also one more thing highlighted on these sidelines is that Eastern Ghats, where Seshachalam forest lies, is given much less budget compared to Western Ghats. Western Ghats gets about 1000 crore compared to only rupees 200 crore overall budget for the forests in Andhra Pradesh. So, and it says that at least 50 crore is required, at least 500 crore is required for Seshachalam itself. So the demands as such are also being raised here. This is the Seshachalam Biosphere Reserve as such too in Andhra Pradesh here. And the Eastern and Western Ghats are shown. So Eastern Ghats are mainly having dry scrub and forests. In Western Ghats we have these wet forests. So this is there. Then next is on the scent of dead big cats. So this is regarding tiger deaths. So many tiger deaths have been reported, and 46% of deaths as such for 2016 have been reported from outside tiger reserves. So this is a point of concern, especially raised on International Tiger Day, which was on 29 July. So National Tiger Conservation Authority gives details about these statistics as such, and it has said that many tigers as such have died. 62 tigers have died of natural and unnatural causes till date, means till this half year of 2017, and 46% of these deaths have occurred outside tiger reserves, compared to 2016 where 37 out of 100 deaths were outside reserves. So outside tiger reserve deaths are increasing. This shows that there is a constraint on the habitat of tigers and they are leaving the tiger reserves. So there is need for taking action on this aspect. And many unnatural deaths have also been reported, like electrocutions, accidents, etc. Even tiger infighting has resulted in deaths. But the one of the prominent environmentalists, he says that a rough estimate of the number of tigers in the country is 3,000. So if there are 3,000 tigers in the country, then there would be at least 750 deaths every year, and also a similar number of births every year. So the real concern, he says, is that these deaths, whether these deaths are due to poaching or are they being killed in the protected zones or somewhere else outside. So this has to be looked into, whether they are natural or unnatural deaths. So of course, what kind of deaths are taking place. It also shows that the NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, is not able to record all deaths as well. So of course, there will be increase in deaths, but then what are the reasons are important is highlighted. This is the detail shown here, number of deaths taking place and which states. So the states where deaths took place are the states which have a more number of tigers. Then next is first Kannada classic in English to be out soon. So this is regarding Kavi Rajamarg. So if you have read ancient history, you will be knowing about this. This is known to have been written by Rashtrakoot King Amogharsha. But then it is stated that it was his court poet Shri Vijaya who had written this collection, Kavi Rajamarg, which is the way of the king of poets. So this is said to be the earliest available work in Kannada language. So it is in Kannada language. This is important. It was of 9th century AD. So around 1850s as such when it was written. So this Rashtrakuta king, under the Rashtrakuta king, this Kavi Rajamarg now has been translated into English. So this is important. Kannada language is prominently in news as well. So this aspect you should know anyway. And also another thing is that it is closely related to other such works like Kavya Darsha, which is by Dandin, and Kavya Lankara of Hamsa. These are Sanskrit works actually. And also another Kannada, this is a poetry work. This is Vaddaradhane. So this is a Kannada literary work, prose work. So this prose work, earliest prose work in Kannada also is proposed to be translated into English now. Vaddaradhane is written by Shiva Kotyacharya. So it's a collection of 19 stories written in old Kannada language. Many Prakrit words are also used here. Then next is IGIB researchers rename cancer cells. So this is a research undertaken by CSIR Institute's IGIB. Here the researchers have seen that it is telomerase. The telomerase, you should know what is this. Every chromosome as such, at the end of it, it has this telomerase. So this acts like a clip. How at the end, how the papers are kept together with a clip. So the chromosomal, constituents are kept together through this clip so that they do not intermingle with other chromosomes and do not lost. It is also compared with the shoelaces. How at the end of the shoelaces you have this structure. It's clipped as such so that the shoelaces does not result in being lost. So this telomerase is there in all chromosomes, but it is seen that they are very much high in cancer cells. So that is the reason why the cancer cells also grow, multiply, and they later results in metastasis also. So metastasis is the advanced stage of cancer actually. A cancer stage in which the cancerous cells as such, you can see they invade the surrounding tissues and vessels. They enter into blood vessels too and another region, and there they cause cancer. So when cancer spreads from one region to other parts of the body as such, then it has entered into the 4th stage of cancer, that is the metastasis stage. Then after that, even treatment becomes difficult. So this takes place because telomere here is very tight. So why is it so tight in cancerous cells is being looked into, that how they are kept in tight control as such in normal cells, but telomerase levels are very high in cancerous cells. So this is a mechanism which is being studied by the researchers here. They also say that a treatment which is there for cancer, that is NME2, non-metastatic 2. So this, as such, the protein which is there in such used for suppressing spread of cancer 2, this is also having a function to play in controlling telomerase levels. So as we see, cancer cells have high telomerase levels. This protein helps in ensuring that high telomerase levels do not occur. So there is a link between telomerase and spread of cancer cells and metastasis, which is being studied by these researchers. Then next is scooping out oil spills made easy by IISER Thiruvananthapuram. So this is a research which has been undertaken long back. It has been in news quite often. Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research of Thiruvananthapuram. The researchers here have developed this hydrophobic sorbent that can suck up oil and congeal it. So sucking up oil means it is oleophilic. So oleophilic means it loves oil. So, it is hydrophobic. So, hydrophobic, it has been developed using cheap raw material. So, it does not suck up water but sucks up oil. So, this cheap raw material mannitol which has been used, it's converted into this gelator. And this gelator, cellulose balls, cellulose pulp is also used as a matrix. So, cellulose balls are dipped into the solution of hydrophobic gelator. And then when this is put into the water body where there is oil spill, the oil is congealed, and this takes place within 30 minutes to 2 hours. The entire oil is congealed. Congealing means the entire oil is absorbed into this microfibers of this ball, and the fluidity is lost. It becomes semi-liquid and a fibrous network is developed. A rigid gel is developed. So after that, this oil can also be recovered from this ball. So this is the development which has taken place here. So it takes very less time because it has to be quickly used, because oil spills spread significantly. So the entire scooping out of this oil can take place in very short span of time. And then you can see it can be recovered by applying pressure or fractionation by simple distillation to recover this absorbed oil. So here the details are shown how this absorbent can be used and oil can be recovered too. The next is a 2-in-1 solution. So this is a proposal being made by medical experts that hepatitis C program for controlling hepatitis C should work together with HIV. The reason for this being that hepatitis C is also closely related to HIV infection. So the way HIV infection spreads, hepatitis C infection also is bloodborne. This is a viral infection again, and it also spreads in the similar way, like injectable drugs use, sharing of needles, inadequate sterilization, also of syringes, etc., transfusion of unscreened blood and blood products, and also rarely it is transmitted sexually as well. It can also be passed on from infected mother to her baby. So hepatitis C should be merged with the National AIDS Control Program is a proposal which is being made. Also there is co-infection cases which are high. There are various forms of hepatitis. You can see the details given here and how they spread, and also which one of them are chronic. B, C and D are chronic. For hepatitis C, presently there is no vaccine, but then vaccines are being developed as well. Then next is Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. So this is a scheme which has been announced in 2016 May onwards. It has been effective. Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. So looking at the success of Varisht Pension Bima Yojana of 2003, and which was again relaunched in 2014. This is a scheme for elderly population 60 years and above. So this will provide them pensions monthly, quarterly or yearly as they require. And this will be implemented through LIC again, Life Insurance Corporation of India. So this is a scheme which is guaranteeing an interest of over 8% for 10 years. So the minimum to maximum investment as such for monthly mode is 1.5 lakh to 7.5 lakh per family, and minimum pension per month is 1,000 to even 5,000 maximum per month. Then this is the detail provided. A premature exit is also allowed in exceptional circumstances like treatment for a critical terminal illness of self or spouse. So this is the scheme. Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. Then next is India's first ever crude purchase to arrive in September. So India is now purchasing crude oil from US for the first time, and this delivery will take place for Indian Oil Corporation in September 2017. It has said that US is providing very cheap oil to India, plus also the company transporting the shipment, which is the Chinese company PetroChina, has provided very favorable terms of trade. So this is being proposed here. This also should be taken in context of India-Iran relations, because Farzad B gas field of Iran, which ONGC's commercial arm, the OVL, ONGC Videsh Limited, had developed this. It had discovered oil gas there, but then it has not been awarded by Iran. So the deal as such between India-Iran is at stake, and India has also cut short its supply of oil from Iran. Otherwise, it is one of the largest importers of Iranian oil. So in this context, now we are having for the first time oil imported from US. So this is there. Also, Bharat Petroleum Corporation has announced that it will also be buying oil, the second Indian company to buy oil from US. So this is the Farzad B gas field of Iran too. So Iran, we had seen, it has now come in talks with Russia also for development of this Farzad B gas field, seeking more favorable terms. So this is there. Then the last news item is RBI changes norms for appointment of auditors. So this, the audit firm which has to be appointed by banks, there is a 2-year cooling period which is there. So a 4-year tenure is provided for an auditor, an external auditor for a bank, but then they cannot be reappointed. There should be a 2-year cooling period. But it is seen that after 2-year cooling period, every time again that same auditor is appointed. This cooling period is also there so that there is no comfortable relationship developed between the auditor and the bank. So now it has announced, the RBI has announced that this statutory central auditor of a bank will have a 6-year cooling period. So it will not be eligible, not 2 years, but it will be increased to 6 years. The rest period or cooling period is of 6 years now. And is applicable to all banks, including foreign banks as well. So these are the news items. Thank you.